بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين لا قيام يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. اللهم عرفني نفسك فإنك إن لم تعرفني نفسك لم أعرف نبيك. اللهم عرفني رسولك فإنك إن لم تعرفني رسولك لم أعرف حجتك. اللهم عرفني حجتك فإنك إن لم تعرفني حجتك ضللت عن ديني. اللهم لا تمتني ميتة جاهلية ولا تزغ قلبي بعد إذ هديتني برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Assalamu alaikum, my beloved ones, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, we are going to continue our session of gauging levels of ma'rifah. So we now know that whenever I need to know how much ma'rifat I have, I need to see how much love I have. That means how much patience I have when obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how much mentioning I do of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in my mind, how much I'm mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in my 24 hours, 7 days a week. And if I have ma'rifat, I need to check how much thankful I am to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then how much I am obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whenever I make errors, how much I am repenting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and when do I repent, or do I leave some gap between me and Allah, that gap of sin, or no, I try to eliminate it ASAP as soon as possible. So these are some of the things we need to practically gauge ourselves, and not to just like allow Imam alayhi salam pop up on our faces and we are not yet ready. So we really need to get ready, because he's coming. That's inevitable. Okay? Because there are people, they have ma'rifat, he's going to come. But the question is, am I and are you, are we ready that we will be with this side and not against him? Because there will be only two choices. Either you are with him or against him. So when he comes, okay, if we have marifah, then we'll be with him, highest level of marifah, or at least 60, 70% above. You don't need to have 100%. That's the marifat of Ma'soom alayhi salam. And then closer to Ma'soom, like Muqaddas al-Ardabili and Salman al-Farsi and Abu Dharr al-Ghufari, and then so on. As long as you have this marifah level, okay, 70 and 80 above, then you are good. But 50, there's a slippery slope. And below that, and I mentioned that gauge your marifat, the level of marifat, the level of awareness, the level of attentiveness in your 24 hours. You will know if in 24 hours you are 50% you have awareness of Allah and being mindful of Allah, or 10% or 20%. How much Allah is in your mind, in your time? It's easy to gauge. And if Allah is there, then by default, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be there. And if Rasulullah is there, by default, our Imam of time will be there, and our Aimmas alayhi salatu wasalam. It will be easier to recognize and have the marifat of our Imam of time. So in the Munajatul Ta'ibin, we took a lot concepts about Tawbah, but here there's one beautiful point Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam makes in Munajat al-Muftaqireen. And this Munajatul Muftaqireen is one of the pure indications of Ma'rifah. If you want to see someone who has Ma'rifah, his words, go to Munajatul Muftaqireen. Check out how Imam Zainul Abidin expresses his love and gap and yearning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Check it out and see, do you feel like the way Imam feels? If so, alhamdulillah. If not, then repeat that munajat, ponder and reflect in the words of that munajat. You will slowly sense the level of ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So look at this munajat al-muftaqireen. There's a sentence. We normally, I think I have said this before, but it's no problem. It's repeating it, since we are now doing the five points, and each point we are putting a segment of munajat. So in this, I like this segment. He says, أستغفرك من كل لذة بغير ذكر. What does that mean? It's so beautiful word that we normally, na'udhu billah, we commit sin. We say, Ya Allah, astaghfirullah, Rabbi wa tub ilayh. And whenever we don't commit sins, we don't do istighfar. Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, look at the way he's expressing his istighfar. Astaghfiruka min kulli ladhatin. Taste, enjoyment, entertainment. Every entertainment I go through and you are not in it, I ask your forgiveness. Baba, it is halal. Halal into, yes. If Allah is not in my time of entertainment and happiness and goodness and pleasure, then I want to ask Allah's forgiveness. Obviously, we know that Imam Zainul Abidin, in every moment of his life, Allah is there. Micro moment. But he is like, these are lessons of Imam Zainul Abidin to us, encrypted in du'as. Okay? You know, the time of Yazid, it was very difficult for Imam to give lectures on akhlaq and lectures. So these are the lectures of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi, and amazing lectures for those who seek Marifat and Irfan. Astaghfiruka min kulli ladhatin. I seek forgiveness from every entertainment, every fulfillment of desire. Obviously, with halal we are talking. بغير ذكرك. If you were not there in my mind while I was enjoying nice ice cream, forgive me, Allah. If you were not there, if I was enjoying my halal biryani, forgive me, Ya Allah. If you were not there in my mind when I was going with my friends and having a fun time, astaghfirullah, forgive me, Ya Allah. This is how the Urafa need to be. This is one of the indications of Marifat. How much Allah is in your mind. Even when you're entertaining, does Allah get out of your mind and then you entertain? No, or you include Allah in your entertainment and include His presence. Allow His presence to be sensed by you. You see? وَمِن كُلِّ رَاحَةٍ بِغَيْرِ أُنْسٍ. Comfort, Ya Allah. There's no comfort without your comfort. So if I'm sleeping and you are not there with me, okay, there's no comfort in my sleeping. If I'm relaxing, or as they say, chillaxing, and you are not there in my relaxing or chillaxing or whatever, then there's no comfort. So even if I get comfort in that without you, then forgive me, Allah. Forgive me, astaghfiruka. وَمِن كُلِّ رَاحَةٍ بِغَيْرِ أُنْسِكَ وَمِن كُلِّ سُرُورٍ بِغَيْرِ قُرْبٍ. Every happiness and every glad I go through without you being in proximity with me or close to me, I don't sense your closeness and I'm happy, astaghfiruka. Because when you are close to me, that's the greatest happiness. But if you're not close to me, then that thing should not be a cause of happiness because you are not in my happiness. So astaghfiruka ya Allah, forgive me, ya Allah. وَمِن كُلِّ شُغْلٍ بِغَيْرِ طَاعَتِكَ. And in every preoccupancy without obeying you. What does that mean? That means 24 hours should I pray salah? No. 24 hours be mindful of Allah, and whenever the commands of Allah comes in your 24/7, say labbaik and obey Allah. Okay? And if not, then if your time is preoccupied without anything that could please Allah or worth the pleasure of Allah or something which makes you close to Allah, then, oh Allah, forgive me for occupying my time in mubah things. So when this Muqaddas al-Ardabili and Sheikh Abbas al-Qummi says we never did mubah for certain years, what does this mean? Because wajib pleases Allah and obligation. Mustahab pleases Allah, but no punishment if you did. Haram, stay away from it, displeases Allah, and punishment. Makruh displeases Allah, but no punishment. So what about mubah, neutral zone? So you don't have punishment, you don't have reward, you don't have anything. But it's waste of time to urafas. For Imam, it's waste of time. I do something mubah, which is not wajib, not mustahab. I preoccupy my time with either with mubah thing. It's waste of time. Forgive me, Ya Allah, for wasting my time. My time, the precious time you gave me for every second of my life are precious gifts of you have given to me. And I waste them in mubah? No way. I want to put every second and microsecond of my life in either doing wajib, which is not that much. Then I fill it with mustahabbat, recommended acts. وَمِن كُلِّ شُغْلٍ بِغَيْرِ طَاعَتِكَ. This is one of the ways Imam Zainul Abidin. We took previously also some sentences. So this is munajatul ta'ibin. Then finally munajatul muti'in. Munajatul muti'in, obedience. Obedience normally comes after the muhibbin. So we did segment of munajatul muhibbin. We did segment of munajatul muftaqirin, which shows the muhib, the love. We did segment of munajatul shakirin. We did segment of munajatul dhakirin. We did segment of munajatul ta'ibin. The only segment was left is munajatul muti'in. Now, why people, they don't like to offer salat? Why people, they don't like to offer zakat? There are some youth nowadays, they don't want to even fast. Why? Because the junk piled in the nafs, the filth, the songs and haram food and negligence of parents. The parents are dumping haram food in their children. They are teaching them how to be negligent. Many parents, I'm not talking about every parent. And then they say, Sheikh, my son is not praying. What did you feed him? Well, I mean, Kentucky Fried Chicken and this and that. I mean, from Muslim countries. How do you know that these Muslim countries, they have really local chicken? To my understanding, many of these Muslim countries, they import their chicken because it is not enough for the country, the population. And so they are not slaughtered by the Islamic way. And you're feeding them this halal countries, halal Kentucky chicken or McDonald's or these kind of. Nowadays, anyways, you have to stay away from these things. So you're putting junk inside your child's system, gelatin, melatonin, all this kind of thing. Even if your doubt it's halal, but it's poison of nafs. So that's why these curtains are there. The nafs becomes thicker and thicker, and then you and Allah, and we and Allah becomes distant and distant and distant. And then if Allah is far away, then I don't sense the importance of wajib. I don't sense the importance of mustahab. I don't sense the importance of religion itself. I don't sense the meaning of qurbatan lillah. So look what Munajatul Muti'in tells us. Imam Sajjad alayhi salam says, Ilahi, Allahumma, alhimna ta'atak. Remember, if we worship Allah, it is Allah's involvement in it. Keep shaitan away. So, Ya Allah, inspire me to obey you. Wajannibna ma'siyatak. Help us stay away from disobeying you. That means keep the shaitan away from us. So if we are away from haram, shaitan is away from us. What does that mean? That means that Allah helped us worship Him. Waqsha, this one. Waqsha, aksha, iksha, you know that like women, they remove their hair, or some men also, they remove their hair with the sticky thing, they patch it on the feet and kind of scream, they scream, oh, kind of. So there's a brother, he was in Hajj because his hair falls a lot. So he said, let me do this sticky thing therapy. So he sticks his thing on the chest and scream. Anyhow, so that kind of like, this got aksha, like uprooted, okay? Like detach it like forcefully because it's super glued, okay? So what, these curtains of filth and junk and piled up on the nafs. So Imam in the Munajatul Muti'in is asking Allah, remove this, not remove it, pull it, uproot it, grab it like kind of thing, Iqsha, that's the word iqsha. Because these words, Arabic words, they're beautiful in connotations, indication, the way we have studied and understood. Okay, so that's why I'm trying to let you experience. When I hear this word, what comes in my mind, I want you to experience what comes in my mind. Iksha, like in Gulf countries, when I used to live there in Qatar, we used to iksha, iksha. That means uprooted. Like there was something staying. Iksha, iksha. That means remove it forcefully, get rid of it, kind of thing. Anyhow, let's come to iksha. Iksha an basairina, sahab al-irtiyab. Uproot or take away from our sights, which is insights, because we are talking about the ruh. The ruh does the basira, the spirit. Nafs is a something which is clouding the ruh, that cloud. So Imam says, uproot that cloud away from us, our basira, our insight, so that we can find you present. We can feel your existence. Then the obedience becomes easier. واخشع عن بصائرنا سحاب الارتياب واكشف عن قلوبنا أغشية المرية والحجاب. واكشف, undisclose from our heart. The heart meaning ruh, spirit, the one which detects Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Take away from our hearts, from our ruh, which was basira, also insight. These are same words, they all fall into the insight or the intellectual faculty we have, which becomes covered by this kind of junk. So take away from my heart, spirit, ruh. Aghshiyah, on the nafs, there are curtains, okay, there are veils, covers. Al-mirya, doubts, veils of doubt. Does God even exist? Why God is doing like that? Why is this? Why the doubts which the shaitanic people and Satan, by demonic Satans and humanic Satans, they come and they put the whispers in our minds, and we start doubting everything in religion. Well, hijab and the curtain, the veil, the cover, take it away, Ya Allah. وَأَزْهِقِ الْبَاطِلَ عَنْ ضَمَائِرِنَا, and remove the wrong and the vain and the falsehood totally away from our conscious by uprooting. So subhanallah, these are the words of our Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam. We are able to cover all these 5 topics, learning from Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam, learning from the Quran, and learning from the munajat of Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam. We have 1 or 2 more sessions left. I would like to go through some of the words of Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam in the farewelling dua of the holy month of Ramadan, because it is packed with irfani points and the points of Marifat. So now, to conclude, inshallah, we will meet in our next session. We'll try to float in the air and the realm and the world of the munajat or dua of wada, of farewelling the holy month of Ramadan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us his marifat and the marifat of his messenger and the marifat of his successor, the successor of his messenger, our beloved Waliullah, Imam Sahib al-Zaman. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. Wa akhiru da'wan alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi tayyibin al-tahirin. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. رمضان رمضان यूं कायम है रमज़ान, रमज़ान रमज़ान यूं कायम है रमज़ान, सदक़े आले मोहम्मद से बाकी है इसकी शान।